am Espion, and joining me today on the mic is JC87, and we're going to get started
Hello.
right away.
Alright, we're off already. I imagine both players are going to be starting off with the Sahas will I check, quick check on Lake Hylia. For those that haven't seen and Overworld glitches before, a lot of it is basically the same as No Logic. Everything that's going to be different is Overworld. So all the things that you thought were called secrets breaks in No glitches, like the flake flippers, or the super bunny and stuff like that. Those are now on logic. And then the primary major glitch that is added, it's called are clips in the overworld, but only if you can do them with your boots or the mirror.
And we find what the green pendant is. It's Thieves Town, and baliame a little annoyed that it's pendant thieves once again.
Yeah, it's one of those dungeons that you kind of want to dip anyways, and prefer it to be a crystal, but oh well. Not a whole lot here, so gonna hop on over to Lost Woods, then either up to Kakariko or go ahead and do a DMA, which would be a nice little clip to get up to Death Mountain pretty fast.
Furaime unfortunately getting harassed by the green guards, unable to start up a dash.
Tier 1 prize pool is pretty nice on those tree pulls. Something we might see some of the runners do is some fun glitches involving a bottle in the overworld. So in the glitch modes, some of the navigation actually makes great use of all those extra U presets you'll never use in glitchless.
Speaking of bottles, we got one on Lumberjack. Almost certainly not going to be required, so Aghanim is probably dead.
Yeah, it's like there's still some very few cases where logically you would need to fight Aghanim still, but
Those are always breakable.
yeah. While they're making their next rounds over to Kakariko, still haven't found a whole lot yet. Some of the big access things that's available immediately from the beginning is you can immediately go straight into desert from the start. Most of the mirror requirements are no longer required in Overworld glitches. The only thing you would actually need cape for now would be for Spike Cave and Laser Bridge and stuff like that.
And there is a mirror. Yeah, so well, that renders the cape irrelevant, getting Cane of Burna. But the mirror is actually a very powerful item because what it lets you do is go off of Death Mountain early in logic. Of course, there are harder ways to do so, usually involving one-frame clips. But having the mirror means we can go get the Moon Pearl in the Dark World, which is always a fun time. So far, Kakariko has been pretty dry except for the mirror.
Yep, and then right now, right now, Mirror really doesn't open up terribly much by itself. Basically, the only new thing that's really added with this Mirror right now is, well, it opens up Pyramid Fairy now, as well as Skullwoods, and that's about it.
It opens up Pyramid Fairy and Logic. Actually, no, it doesn't open up Pyramid Fairy and Logic, actually. I believe that you need either a sword or the hookshot to make that logically accessible, although it is
Oh, yeah.
doable. Although sequence breaking Pyramid Fairy is definitely not a bad idea since it's just a sword to put it in Logic. Baliame gonna
I was about to,
here to pass up the money, but going to re-enter to grab it. 300 is definitely not something to laugh at in the early game, but gets him all the way up to 500 for Zora.
definitely. Alright. We'll probably see a desert check right after this. Just red rupees up there. It's fun how the game map is linked together like this. And there we go, there's our sword.
Yeah, so that puts Pyramid Fairy in Logic, which can be routed in together with the escape sequence. So that may be a good option for our runners.
Oh, it's a great play in my opinion. It's like if you can toss that Pyramid Fairy and the Pyramid in with Hyrule Castle.
Yep, plus you can get Graveyard Wedge on the way.
And there's something unique in K45 it looks like. No, Haunted Grove, I lied.
It's K45. Near
It
the
is?
Haunted Grove refers to that, yes.
Okay. Yeah, and coincidentally, it's like, it's just basically a 5-second detour to get there from Desert in this mode. We'll see. So in glitches, you'll probably use seeing a lot of people do a lot of super speed stuff. The same state that gives you the super speed lets us bypass some of the random ledges and just kind of hop off them. So we'll probably see that right after this desert check. So all we got so far was the blue mail. Not necessarily a great find right now. I mean, sure, it kind of helps on survivability, but there's some instances where, at least until you find the moon pearl, you do want to be able to die quickly, so you can come back as Link later on.
Yeah, there are points where you do want to die in Overworld glitches, especially given that we have the mirror right now, means that we could be forced to actually do that in Skullwoods. And there's another sword, very nice.
And our glove.
So that glove is also convenient because it will let us check Checkerboard Cave at the same time as these other checks.
Alright, so how the clipping works, it's like a lot of the one frame detections the game doesn't necessarily push you out on. So whenever you do a directional input and boots on the same frame, it nudges you one frame. If it's left, it's 2, right, it's 1 pixel. You just have to get in at the right spot at the right heights, and then everything has a pretty simple visual cue for that. But if you are 8 pixels in, you go a bit up, and then 1 more pixel in, you'll go down. And a lot of funky things can happen, depending on what's at that point below. You might see random hops, you might then see them pop straight down. So, it's a lot of fun to experiment with.
So, Furaime opting to take the gloves picked up and go to the back of escape, while baliame is going to continue along the more traditional no glitches route after clearing at desert, going to head to South Shore.
And there's a moon pearl. Oh, wow.
Was that Hammer?
That was Hammer and moon pearl on the back of escape.
Oh, of course we have not glitched Dark World access.
Yeah.
So the Moon Pearl is all that we really need to get Dark World access, but well, we have Hammer and Gloves, we may as well just use the regular portals anyway.
Yeah, because without that, it's like Dark World access everywhere is Death Mountain, and it can be a bit involved to set up trying to get down by, say, Hype Cave. Doesn't take nearly as long as some other method as it could, but it's just that extra step if you don't have that glove and hammer combo.
Yeah, so baliame picking up both Bomb Burst and Quake Medallion, actually. And Furaime is going to head into the Dark World here, and will probably be attempting to route those in with the Mirror as well. So we do get a map check. We have pendants on Misery Mire and Swamp Palace, as well as the other 5-6 crystal on Ice Palace.
Wow, let me see and get that water walk. Probably gonna head on over up to Zora area. And then with Water Walk armed the way he has it, it actually gives him immediate access to the ledge item as well.
And baliame will pick up the Fire Rod in Waterfall Ferry, which is very nice. It's a fire source, of course, but it will also let him clear out Skullwoods, which can be a touch annoying to get back to, depending on how you choose to route things.
Definitely. Pretty expensive bombs right there.
And it looks like baliame will be going to Back of Escape now to pick up his Hammer and Moon Pearl.
He's
Just kidding.
Doing DMA instead. With how much you use that Uncle save point or respawn point in this mode, Flute's absolutely unnecessary in Overworld glitches, and the quickest access to Dark World tends to be coming here, going up to Hera, and then using that portal.
So baliame is on the mountain now.
Yeah, but he's got his fire sword, so he might as well just go ahead and finish this off. Most pendant dungeons, or most light world dungeons, even they end up being pendants, they're a lot of times they're often worth clearing anyways. I didn't see what items were on the Western Ring of Swamp.
Nothing important.
Alright.
Possibly makes Swamp Palace a more tempting dip, since if you have Hammer and Hookshot, you can just blaze right through to the boss, clear out all the chests on the way. Furaime, interestingly, not going to arm Water Walk. So he will have to fake flipper. Although it looks like he thought he did.
Yep, and then fortunately for him, it's not going to be that big a deal that he doesn't have it armed. One with that moon pill, he'll be able to get water walk again. And then when he walks by that ledge item, he's going to be thankful to find out he doesn't need to go up there.
Baliame, you're a terrible person for your heartbeat speed.
Let's see, I wasn't paying attention to his heart count like when he entered that room, when he had that mirror.
He had something like 2 hearts. Probably just taking the death warp for safety.
Yeah.
And Furaime is going to go check the hobo. Baliame skipped this as well during this race, so fortunately does not have anything critical this time. So we did get a hint in Hera. A unique item requires the hammer. And so, it's actually more likely that a hint that says requires the hammer is pointing to the Swamp Palace Big Chest by way of how the hints are organized and distributed through the game. So you can actually metagame hints like that to essentially mean in the Swamp Palace Big Chest. Although I don't think that's a particularly common thing to do.
He's doing a different version of the Death Mountain Ascent. This one's gonna lead him right underneath the cave to save the old man. And we'll probably see Baliame go ahead and do old man as he works his way down the mountain. Furaime's got to do a little bit of a camera adjustment first. If you walk into this entrance, that is accessible as soon as you walk into it, or walk into that screen. But if you don't scroll it on far enough, it can make this screen take like several minutes to load, and not a fun time. Okay, we're not gonna see them hop into Mimic Cave then.
Which is a pretty good hint if Furaime decides to go and get it, because with Mirror and Hammer, we do have access to Mimic Cave. And now Furaime is doing what's called Hero Clip. Jump off the bottom of the mountain, takes you to the top of the mountain. No big. You know, I just noticed that our runners' names are very similar. I can't believe I didn't notice this before.
Very similar. We get nice, easy access to the island. I'm not sure what setup he's doing right now to get back in.
He's trying to clip hop back and bounce like this. I haven't seen that one before myself. I usually use a little piece of...
The invisible ledge that's in the middle of the clouds.
Yeah.
on the
That
left-hand
one is
side.
just like there. Although sometimes using that, it drops you into the middle of a red Tektite. So maybe I guess that's a little bit safer.
I'm not sure. I trust those Tektites a little bit more than those squirrels. Yeah, I still have to decide if it's faster to do a sword spin state to hop over that ledge or just to run around.
If you're really good, it's probably fastest to do just buffering.
Yeah, that'd probably be just as easy. Okay, we've got a real powder, so no fake powdering this time.
So Paradox Cave today is going to yield half magic and the bug catching net.
Yep, and then if Furaime ends up going to East Death Mountain, it's like he won't be saving and quitting in Paradox Cave. He'll be able to chain in Dark Death Mountain with that. And then since they've already both checked the Zora area, no point in hopping over to the right. Looks like he is setting up for Pyramid Fairy. So whenever you hop past any of the sides of the screen, you do need to be very careful about where you walk along that. The game holds on to your global position on the game map overall, as well as where you are within the screen that you're at. One of the things that it loads whenever you hop around is where the transitions would be on other screens. And if you do it on the wrong spots, you can get that infinite scroll lock.
So Frame is going straight to Spike Cave actually, which is pretty interesting. We do have all the items required for it. And also doing a Death Mountain descent in the way that baliame did usually results in a Hogahan, and that's a unique item in Spike Cave. Very nice. Obviously not one that we care about, but still.
Definitely unique.
Unfortunately, nothing useful in Pyramid Fairy. Can also check the pyramid itself while we're here. Just a heart container, though.
Unfortunately, this heart container puts us right by Uncle's hole. So, nice easy combo right there.
Do you know, actually, we do have the small key for escape, right? Because we got it in Sanctuary. So baliame can actually go through the entirety of the escape sequence, and at the very end he'll pick up Hammer and Moon Pearl.
Which would be very great. And then, with a full bar of half magic, the sewers won't be too big a deal to do in the dark. I don't think we saw a map on the back of Escape, so it should be down here.
I believe so, yes. Since Furaime did also give us the Dark Cross item.
Yep, and then what we'll see Furaime probably do next. Didn't see if he saw what's on the island yet, but he'll probably hop on over to the portal for Turtle Rock, do a downwards teleport, then hop onto the sledge.
Easily bypasses the MITS requirement there.
Yeah, there's only 3 things that logically require the MITs in Overworld glitches. One would be Ice Palace access, the Dwarves, and Purple Chest.
So baliame is going to save and quit instead. Just going to do it from behind, I assume. Probably better. And then can get to Dark Cross a little bit faster, I believe. Although I think Dark Cross might actually be faster coming from the front.
It's hard to say.
So we are going to get to see Super Bunny Cave, nothing useful. And then Hookshot Cave, where we can see potentially a hover. Almost all of the players in the Overworld Glitches tournament actually can hover.
Yep, does not look like he's opting for that. We might see a pod check after this. Wait. But first we'll get that T-Rock hint.
Oh, nice. Oh no. So, are we gonna see hover actually? I guess not.
Nope. It's one of those things like, yes, we can sequence break that still if we want to. And then sometimes when you sequence break, it does help out with some metagaming in the end as well. It's like, if you're missing one thing that you know is blocked by your hook shot, that also gives you a nice chunk of areas the items leading up to it can be.
Yeah, well, won't see any hovering this race probably. Since I know that baliame can't hover because he plays on keyboard. Keyboard is best.
Starting here, we will probably see Furaime check out what is needed. We'll check out Mireshed, make note of the medallion requirement, then head on up to Village of Outcast next.
We are gonna get to see the Did we already see the swamp hint? I don't remember.
I thought we did earlier when Furaime was down by Hype Cave.
Well, it's just junk anyway, so.
Yeah.
We seem to be converging actually on a similar route in the end, after a bit of divergence in the light world.
Yeah, then with not a whole lot yet, we'll probably see that dip into Thieves Town, and possibly even beat that one since it is green pendants. We'll see what we get leading up to that, and then Not sure if they'll do Swamp Force or if they'll just go ahead and do everything in the same motion.
Well, hey, there are flippers, so that gives us Swamp Palace access.
Yep, gives it.
Joy.
And then I'm not sure if I would dip Swamp without hookshot at this point, knowing that west side is junk.
Yeah, it reduces the number of items you can get from 4 down to a measly 2. Did we see the Maya medallion?
I did not see it. I missed it.
Tracker says it's Bombos, so thank you for that. We do have Bombos, fortunately, which means that Ether medallion is not required.
It's also fun.
Although, of course,
it's fun to use for dark rooms, though.
Yeah, although the Maya is a pendant, so maybe we won't have to go in at all. That would be really nice, but
yeah. Let's see. So the only thing, so the two things that could be on pedestal that we would need would be bow or ice rod. So pretty low chances for a pedestal this time.
Bally, it's not worth the time save to avoid the magic refill. Just use the fire.
Yeah, one sword spin basically lost the time save on the magic refill.
Yeah, it's only worth doing if you have tempered, since that deals equal damage to a fire rod. And we are going to get to clip out of Misery Mire, which is something that you don't get to normally do. So we like to actually just route Mire in as if it was a normal, some normal location on the overworld.
Furaime's having a little bit of issues getting that visual cue in. Something that kind of helps sometimes for newer runners on this one, having trouble seeing that visual cue when the lightning's flashing with that rain is, if you move into a different part of the overworld and some other things happen, if you hit the map button, it takes away some of the extra effects.
I like the simultaneous digging games. I also prefer Furaime's style of digging.
And just like that, we're back at Outcasts.
So we do have the magic mirror, which means that we're going to be able to mirror here and get the magic bat.
Just for some more money. Hey, we got some silvers already. Nothing to shoot them with yet, but
When will we discover the fake bow glitch?
one day.
Although honestly, before fake bow, I would like to see fake ice rod instead. So
Yeah.
both winners are going to enter Thieves Town. Furaime just opening it for now, going to go in just a bit.
Yeah, depending on what these next two chests, I kind of imagine they might as well just full clear this one.
Considering we have not
Nothing.
gotten, yeah, so far nothing, just one item in the front. And we do have hammer, so there's no risk of leaving an item behind the big chest.
Yeah, but then doesn't really seem like GT's a worthwhile dip either right now.
No, we don't have hook shot. We don't have Samaria.
Yeah, it's like
Hook shot is. Yeah, it's not worth it. I mean, you can get the chests
with
blocked
bomb
by hook
jumps.
shot. Yeah, but
that's about it.
I don't think it would really be worth it to go there without hookshot unless you could hover anyway. Since it's possible to bypass the Mimic Jaw requirement for the bow, obviously.
I'm thinking that, so after this, of course, go up to Skullwards, get that crystal out of there. Possibly do Eastern Sahasrara next.
Should combo that with Palace of Darkness as well, because we do have the mirror.
Then Furaime, I don't think did Pyramid Fairy yet. So we could possibly see that Hyrule combo from him, and then mix in hammer pegs after that.
Baliame trying to powder the anti-fairy, but the Gibo is having none of it.
I forgot if the latest logic update could have left small key on blind, which always sucks.
No. Small key on blind is not good. But there's a mushroom.
Yet another thing we can toss in with that Eastern play.
Yes. I like the LSD blind.
Absolutely no effect on gameplay. Just if you want a little bit of a palette change.
Technically, LSD blind is considered, I believe, game mode incrementation, which is the foundation of a lot of major glitches. Yeah, it's okay because it doesn't really do anything though, and it looks cool.
Yeah, in short, the game doesn't like being interrupted when it's doing something. Just don't ever hit mirror at the same time you try to read a Sahasrara tile.
Or just a sign on the overworld. But you should totally do it. You should do it once and then not do it again.
Yeah. in a non-race setting. Do it on the side for fun.
Oh, baliame going to give us a mirror wrap. So by using the mirror on the same frame we transition screens, we can actually go over the boundary essentially without actually triggering the screen transition, and then go backwards to actually trigger the transition. And then fix the camera in the Batcave, and now we can essentially be over on this side completely normally. Although, I don't think it's possible to get back across, so I'm not sure what baliame is going to do after this.
I mean, he's got his glove and hammer. No big deal to hop back over to the swamp. Well, not swamp, Skullwoods portal. If he wanted to, he could... Actually, can you hop back into the water on this side? In transition?
You can do it to the right, but you can't do it to the left. Well, you can... Like, if you get in the water on the left, it's a soft lock anyway. But you can go into the water on the right, and you can get out that way. But it kind of leads you around to South Dark World. So he's just going to save and quit after this.
Yeah. Gonna say... Possible just head on over to Pov that way, but no big deal.
Ooh, yeah, I can see that. Although maybe you want to do Skullwoods first. Although it looks like Furaime is going to pass up on Skullwoods entirely, going to turn in the mushroom and then presumably do Pod Eastern.
Or at the very least, cash in that green pendant.
Quite literally, as it is just a lot of cash. Oh, I guess Furaime is going to go back to Skullwoods. Interesting.
It's one of those weird things because he wanted to also combine that graveyard, not graveyard, but King's Tomb with that along the way with everything else.
Yeah, there are actually ways to get King's Tomb without Mitts or Mirror or whatever. It's not in logic, but there are fairly easy ways to do so.
Yeah. Don't even need a sword.
I mean, you should have a sword if you want to make it not terrible.
Terrible and possible are two different things. But I can easily see baliame just go ahead and combine everything, and then there's a hook shot. So scratch that Eastern Palace idea.
Yeah, so that hookshot means either, I guess for Furaime it would mean go back to Hookshot Cave because we know there's a unique item in there. For baliame it might be go to Swamp Palace instead. Knowing that the left side is all junk means that it's a much more appealing pendant dip.
Alright. Fire Rod with half magic. As long as we can get Moth away from those spikes, shouldn't be too big a deal.
Baliame is going to favor the sword in this fight, though. For the big key, which can be an item.
Yep, and then sword tends to push Moth a little bit back. Or a little bit less backwards in the Fire Rod sometimes.
Yeah.
Depending on how that shot registers, there's a lot of random variables in the Fire Rod that determines how it works.
I blame Furaime rules. Furaime is actually going to opt to use the hammer on Mothula instead because it deals double the damage of both the Fire Rod or the Master Sword Slash. Is a bit harder to hit though.
There's our second item. So when Furaime gets that item, we'll probably see him save and quit out of that. Baliame wants to go back and check the Cape Ledge, or Bumper Ledge, wow. And might as well toss in the King's Tomb with that.
I am hoping that Baliame does Dark Lumberjack DMA actually, because that clip is pretty cool. Using the hookshot straight at Hookshot Cave once he's done with that.
Yeah.
Please? Nah, he's turning around. Alright. So yeah, Furaime did save and quit, gonna go back to the mountain. Take the hookshot.
And cashing on that hint. I think he went to Spectacle Cave, Rock Cave already. I don't remember actually seeing him go in there.
He did go into Spectacle Rock because he did get the hint about Mimic Cave.
Alright, so Furaime knows there's a unique item in Hookshot Cave. Baliame looks like he's heading that way, especially since last time he was on East Death Mountain, he didn't have that Moon Pearl or a hammer. So he's not.
No, this looks like GT to me actually.
Yeah, with that wrap, yeah.
If he wanted to go to East Death Mountain, he'd fix the camera.
Yeah. Yeah, being able to clear full side of GT tends to be the best time to do at least one trip into that.
So what's that unique item here? Oh, that's the lamp. Ooh.
Oh, man. And
at least you get a sword out of it, though.
Yeah.
Lamp is definitely not useless, but not something you necessarily want to see, and so Furaime is going to also go into Turtle Rock here, after a slightly disappointing hint.
Yep, so GT, it can have a good number of required items, like the junk fill algorithm that's in the glitches modes don't apply to glitched, since you can hop onto here a lot earlier. Sometimes gaming's meaning actually requires you to dip in before having hammer or hookshot or cane. Not often, but it happens.
Wow, that's first bottle at Titan's Mitts. Ugh. At least Ice Palace is a crystal this time.
Yeah. And I do like this T-Rock play anyways from Furaime. Go ahead and get this middle entrance check done really fast. Then when you come back for the crystal, you can just take Laser Bridge entrance and work your way backwards from that. think Furaime is following suit into GT.
Yeah, heading into GT right now is definitely a good play. You have hammer and hookshot usually means that there's something on the left side.
Yeah, but with most of the overworld already checked, Flute probably isn't worth activating anymore.
Honestly, yeah, at this point, it's pretty much faster to just get places with a save and quit rather than fluting there.
Did we see Big Key? I don't think we did.
No, I don't believe so.
Yeah, it's
So
a
the
little bit faster if you have the Big Key to go ahead and check that chest for hopping down to Armos. Well, another fetch quest. That's fun. Does he have beams? Nice.
yes, he has beams. Presumably, once he wears them down a bit with the beams, he will switch to Cane of Burna. Since Cane of Burna is the most effective way to destroy the Armos without the bow. As you can see, the cane knocks them directly upwards, so it clusters them very effectively near the top. So no big key. We're going to have to come back with Cane of Somalia in order to pick up the big key in either Tower Room or Compass Room.
And make a trip through if they want to check out that big chest. Yep, so he's going to reset camera. Looks like going to do that East Death Mountain check.
Maybe chain that down into
Pod.
Pod Eastern. Yeah.
I'm not sure with as much as Ice Palace burnt them this time. That's fully clearable on logic.
But Ace Palace sucks. I don't want to go there. Not going to open up TR, which is a good choice because the hint there is completely worthless after you get the items here. Oh wow, Furaime actually managing to skip the enraged Armos phase by killing them quickly enough and in enough so that they don't get enough time to enrage. So that was actually a pretty significant time save.
It's extremely hard because you only have a few frames to get that next kill in, and not having a nice reliable way to keep track of how much damage you've done.
Yeah, I would be really impressed if that was planned, but usually that only happens to me unplanned.
He is making that Ice Palace play. You remember the last waves.
Oh yeah, early mitts this time though means is quite possible to have progress. Where's the bow? Where is the bow? No, wait a second. Come on. I want to know.
That was mean.
The most perfect frame drop. Well, I guess we don't get to know where the bow is. The bow is somewhere.
I mean,
We'll find out eventually.
I'm kind of wondering. It's like if he's continue, well, might as well just continue and dip anyways. But with that hints, like if it was elsewhere, it's like might as well just go straight there and just leave Ice Palace alone.
Maybe it's just the bow is a nice palace.
Because it's not that long of a trip to get back to Ice Palace with Mitts. Even if it is a crystal dungeon. Yeah. The big issue with Ice Palace is all the items are so spread out. All the locations. We've seen one so far. There's 2 left in here.
And we do get the hint about Firewalked Mire, so we know that is useless. Mire is a pendant, so that might mean that so it means that a dip will only yield 1 item, but it also means you won't have to do the slow Firewalked chests. Okay, baliame is going to Ice Palace. We get to actually see the hint this time.
In the dark.
Okay, so that's Pod. So Bo is in Palace of Darkness. That's kind of ugly.
Works out nicely.
Yeah. I'm surprised actually that they didn't just leave and go to Pod and get the bow, because I think it would be better to just clear out those 2 crystal dungeons while you're there, hope for Ice Rod there, and then you don't have to... well, you also have to get Samaria, so...
Or possibly just go mode and check that on the way chest to Cold Stare. Then come back if you need to make that second dip.
Nah, because then there's a lot of Ice Palace between the entrance and the chests.
There is.
If you're going to gamble on anything, you should just leave the dungeon and come back later.
I'm not sure. This dungeon, they burned them last time, so... I don't blame them for making this dip. Anyways. Especially since it is a crystal anyways.
So there is the last sword. So both of the runners will probably get Butter Sword. I can't imagine baliame skipping that chest. Furaime going for the stair clip, unfortunately not going to get it. It is pretty precise, pixel perfect to save time. You can do it in a couple of different pixels, but only the uppermost pixel will actually let you slide down the stairs on the right side. Not much to talk about in Ice Palace, since it's pretty much just a pretty standard full clear. So one thing that baliame could opt to do is skip the iced tea chest, actually, since we know it's not an item that will pay off as a gamble.
Yeah, it's definitely the chest that's the most out of the way for us.
We have not gotten a hint for the pedestal. We also don't have the book, so we can't read it. So pedestal still can be the ice rod. Can't be bow because we know that's in pod. Nice clean cold stair kill there. Just for a heart piece though. So what was in ice anyway? I didn't even see anything.
We got that butter sword and that's it.
Blah. Well, we did get the hint. The hint is very good.
Yeah. Best hint. And a lot of easy places to check. Baliame trying to set up a bomb jump to get over to the other side, but oh well.
And so, of course, we're going to see Furaime go straight to Palace of Darkness after ice. Going to get the bow as soon as possible.
Yep, then we'll see that Eastern dip. And then, likely, straight to Saucerel and finally cash in that green pendant. Unless we're magically in go mode by the end of this. Just 2 items needed after the bow.
Yeah, that's possible. Oh, we're gonna do Saucerel first. That makes sense.
Yeah. I don't think we got, and we didn't even get anything in Thieves Town.
No, I don't think so. No, we got Mushroom, but that was also useful. So both runners full clearing Thieves for nothing.
Sometimes sometimes the game is picky. It's like they want you. I don't even know what the actual pixel window is that you have to be standing in front of the chest.
I'm pretty sure you have to be more than halfway over the chest. So for I'm actually going to head straight to the back, knowing that the bow is in the dark, which refers to only 4 chests in the back of pod here, as well as the old man, or the dark cross. That was a bizarre rail clip there. But yeah, since we already gotten the dark cross and old man, we know that the bow has to be in Palace of Darkness. Baliame opting to activate the flute, actually. I'm not actually certain how this saves time, really.
Yes, like especially with as long of a trip it was to get back here. Well, we haven't cashed in bottle yet.
That's true. Okay, so then that makes sense. Going to get bottle, from this, get the sick kid item, which is another bottle. Like, dude, you didn't need our bottle. You had one of your own.
Probably would have been worthwhile to cash in Smith with that.
Nah, Smith takes a long time. Not actually sure that would be worth it.
Be about the best time if you're ever going to.
That's true, but Flute lets you get back there faster, so it's not as bad.
Yeah. Nice early big key.
So baliame is going to show us more of Palace of Darkness. So Frame decided to skip some of these chests and went straight for the bow. So that means that Big Key's on right side, right? Since baliame got the 4 chests here.
I think so.
Yeah, I guess that means that not... So logically, it would be you have to get bow and then go back for Big Key. But we can bypass that with a couple of different ways. Although, it makes sense actually because Frame does not have the a bottle at all, according to the tracker. Or at least doesn't have a bottle with any potions inside.
Yeah, it's like the second, because yeah, the first bottle was was either empty or had a B.
I think it was empty.
And the second one had that potion in it.
But
we
that
got
came
from the second.
off of... Yeah, so Frame wouldn't have that yet.
There's our ether medallion that we don't need.
And the Big Key. So that's kind of ugly. Have to get bow and then go back into that the right side to get the Big Key and then go back to the Dark Maze for the big chest.
I wasn't sure if that fire rod was going to clear that.
Yeah, not many projectile weapons at baliame's disposal right now, actually. I think it's just the fire rod. And I guess sword beams, but wasn't at full health.
So nothing else useful in Eastern. I don't know if we saw the map or not, or the compass or not.
I honestly don't know. My guess is that Frame will just head straight to the boss, though, because that would be equivalent to mirroring, and we have to kill the boss anyway.
Yeah.
So if the boss doesn't have the map, then Frame should be able to deduce that the big chest is the map, right? Because there's a key in... We'll be missing 2 keys and the map, and there's only 3 chests left in Pod.
Sounds right.
And I was like not paying attention, but it looks like baliame did get the big chest and got the map out of it, so that could be a very minor time save.
Yep. We'll probably see Swamp after. Yeah, we'll definitely see Swamp after this.
Yeah. Also, did you notice that it's the exact same go mode items in the next race? Still Cane and Ice Rod,
Man.
of course.
Oh man.
Yeah. So the if you're coming in without context from the first race, they had Cane and Ice Rod and Pendant Swamp. Sorry, Pendant Ice. And now it looks like we're gonna get Cane and Ice Rod and Pendant Swamp.
And Ice Palace burnt them on both. Well, I guess Ice Palace was still helpful even though I had no decent item. Because of that hint about Pod.
Yeah, the hint especially was really good. Although I think after Ice Palace, the next play was going to be Pod anyway. Or maybe Swamp. I can see going to Swamp.
Oops, I missed what fell from Hamilsor.
Big 20.
No. That's why I missed it.
Yeah, nothing of consequence. So we are going to get a save and quit. And go into Link's house. So I guess we're going to see Swamp. And after Swamp... oh, that's not Link's house. I'm blind.
He still hasn't done Hyrule Castle, I don't think. So hard to say if he's doing GT. He's doing GT. Do the last 4 chat. What? Nope, he is doing the rap.
Okay. Purimentary. Alright. Although honestly, we have both red crystals. Not even certain that it's faster to do this. Although if you hadn't already gotten Graveyard Wedge, then I would say it's faster, but...
Yep, and the reason that he doesn't save and quit and just go to Link's house that way is so when you drop your portals, whenever you save and quit, all portals that are on the map are deleted.
Yeah, so you have to get there either by walking there, or a Death Warp, or the Flute. Furaime spending a long time deciding whether to get that hurt there or not.
Yeah. Yeah, blue
Wow, we have a lot of
mail.
health.
Yeah, we got a lot of health and blue mail. And strongest versions of every other safety. I bet the C's gonna be mean, and the one item we have available still in Mire is gonna be the cane.
That's terrible. I hope it's not that. But honestly, after Swamp Palace, going to Mire would not be terrible.
And that'd be the other good time to hop on for those dwarves if you wanted to.
Yeah, so after Mire, you just go to the Smiths. Although, If we do manage to get Kane and we're still looking for Ice Rod, it might amusingly be worth it to finish
clear it?
Meyer. Yeah, go for the blind ped pull.
Yeah, it looks like we're doing hammer pegs.
Yep, and routing this into Smiths is pretty easy.
Yeah.
That position looks a little bit high, actually. I'm not sure that will work. Okay.
It worked.
Yeah, I usually just go for the lowest pixel since I know that one works.
Yep, and we didn't get the special ascent either yet. Yeah, just route that into swamp.
Yep.
I like this move.
Although baliame, because he has flute activated, might choose instead to do swamp first, and because you can just flute straight to 7 and turn in the chest.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's right. He hasn't cashed in mushroom yet.
Maybe he will buy some blue potions while he's here.
Oh, Myth is
Oh,
the
goodness.
play. So we're back to just needing Ice Rod, and I would just finish dipping T-Rock at this point. After.
Yeah, because especially just go to Laser Bridge, get everything. It's fast to get back to Trinix.
I haven't decided if it's faster to get to Tronix from the front, if you find your items in the front part of swamp, or if you leave it and then hop around and rewrap to the back.
Fastest way is going to be to do mirrorless Laser Bridge, but that's a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I would start doing that now, instead of going to the back in go mode and mirroring back to the front. Just go in through the middle of the... Actually, yeah, the middle is best. So go in through the middle, get the big key. Wait, no, middle's bad, because then you have to... I'm confusing myself. Middle's bad, because then you have to do the mirror jump, and that's hard. Front, you have to open it up. I guess if you have... You can go in the middle, then leave through the front, and mirror, activate the portal, and then do the bridge. But if you're going to do that, you may as well save and quit and do mirror wrap. Okay, I've officially confused myself.
Yeah, all the possibilities and glitches definitely makes you confuse yourself so much.
And baliame is going to pick up that Canis and Mario, so now both runners are just looking for the Ice Rod.
Furaime's gonna opt to do GT first.
this makes sense. You have to go to GT anyway.
And you have to do
May
right
as well.
side anyway.
Yep. Hope the ice rod's there.
Yes, like in the end, it's like it takes about the same amount of, not necessarily the same amount of time, but there's no strong difference. Just depending on what that big key is. Let's see, that was just money in here, I think, right?
I think it was the single arrow.
Oh, yeah.
Good, unique item. Unfortunately, just a key in tile room. Not actually certain if that was logically skippable or not. Whether you could figure that out.
Should be. Actually, yeah, it should be.
I'm not sure because we had 2 keys. If we had 1 key, then it would be known.
Because the key usage that you do here to grab that big chest will offset itself along the way anyways.
And now going to continue through GT to get the big chest, presumably. Since that is, of course, capable of containing the ice rod. Baliame actually choosing to skip tile room for now. May or may not go back later to clear it out.
Just some bombs there. 4 chests left in GT. Opted to leave behind that big chest too.
So leaving behind those chests, bit of a risky move because of course they can have the progression that we need, but they are also the most time-consuming chests of Ganon's tower. So by skipping those, that puts baliame really close to Furaime. Only a couple of rooms difference here. Furaime has very nice execution going up GT actually. Widening the lead actually.
Yeah.
Baliame missing a couple silver arrows here and there. Losing a bit of time.
Especially from all that lag from that.
Yep. Of course, this could all be decided by where the ice rod is and who gets it first.
Oh yeah, 1 crystal to go, and well, I'm pretty sure we don't even need Aga 2 anymore. How close is that? Those torches are gonna go out.
Yeah, it's not. This is not makeable anymore. Alright, Ganon's tower is completely barren now. Did we even get anything in here? Like the flute, I think. No, we got mitts.
We got mitts, we got the shovel that led to nothing.
Great, so Ganon's tower had the mitts. Wonder.
Was that too close for it to be a double?
We'll see. That was definitely a double.
Yep. Still don't know.
Alright, it wasn't a double, unfortunately. That happens if you hit Aghanim too close in succession. One of the hits just won't register. Baliame taking a fall to Moldorm. No, pedestal has not been checked.
And
Can still have the ice rod, but
still
fairly
can't check it.
unlikely considering. Yeah, we have all of T-Rock left to clear. We have Swamp Palace left. 1 item in Mire.
Yep, going straight for Turtle Rock here.
Man, all those shots it missed by like pixels.
Yeah, just a couple too. It's like looks like the hitbox to get you hurt is a lot more generous than the hitbox to hit the enemies. And then Aghanim is spreading in such far enough patterns that these energy bars aren't coming in at nice timings anymore.
Aha, we've got a question. How are they in GT without the Turtle Rock Crystal? This is Overworld Glitches mode, so we allow all forms of major glitches on the Overworld, including one that allows you to clip into GT. So, it is very common in Overworld Glitches races to go into Ganon's tower and look for items. You can have lots of things in there like mitts, fire rod, hookshot, whatever. All can be in Ganon's tower, and so even after we clear Ganon's tower here, we can't drop down the hole without all 7 crystals, or Ganon will not be vulnerable.
Okay, we got the mirror wrap on. Furaime entering Laser Bridge.
What happens if you go to Ganon? If you go to Ganon, he will call you a fool and tell you to go accomplish your goal, which is to get the 7 crystals.
Yeah, he makes fun of us.
It's the same message that you would get in an all dungeons NMG run if you go into Ganon without finishing all the pendants or finishing Aghanim 1.
Furaime opting to do a backtrack all the way to the start. And it looks like baliame is opting to make it to Laser Bridge first.
Uh-oh. Frame getting a little bit stuck. There is a way out of this. It requires you to bonk this Somalia block upwards, like this. Very nicely done. Can escape the little prison.
It's a fun trick. I'm not even sure if we've seen the big key yet. No, we have not.
Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. So we need to go all the way up here. And you can skip that pokey key actually, because going through key doors in reverse will actually not open them. So you could see when Frame came up through the Chain Chomp's room, the key door didn't open because we came from the wrong side.
Yep, there is also a key door that got deleted from the vanilla. On the other side, that first big key door that we saw baliame just walk right through. On the other side, for whatever reason, there's a small key door.
In vanilla, yes. In randomizer, that gets removed, partially for glitched modes, partially for entrance randomizer. Since obviously, if you could waste a key there, that would be pretty bad. Alright, there's the big key. And the small key along with it. Frame, where are you going? Oh, we don't have Ice Rod. Didn't you here to get it?
I don't think so, if he came back.
I think he's just leaving out the front because we don't have Ice Rod.
That's fine, I'll just give him good. Where is he going at?
I am not sure.
Does he get all? Oh, big chest.
Ooh, right.
That's a nice way to get.
I always forget about Turtle Rock Big Chest.
For a compass. Yeah, we're definitely going to see that Swamp Palace play now.
Yeah, we are running out of things to go to.
It's simply not worth it to try to find that other item in Mire first.
But if it is the Ice Rod and baliame decides to gamble Mire having it, then that could win the race.
Yes, that would definitely be what would need to happen for things to tip into baliame's favor.
Also, baliame is terrible because he has double heartbeat speed on, and it hurts my ears. Is going to save and quit out, not checking the big chest. So that will save a little bit of time.
Yep, we'll definitely see the runners complete both dungeons if we don't find the Ice Rod before the end. Because it should just be Should just be unless we get the book first.
Ooh.
Then we'll see a tablet check. But other than tablets, everything else has been checked across both runners.
Looks to be that way, and baliame is now also heading to Swamp Palace. So right now I would say that Furaime has a pretty decent lead, being partway into Swamp Palace. The runners have actually been following very similar routes throughout the seed after coming out of the light world.
Yep, and then what's definitely been helping Fromm is like even though he's been more thorough in his checks. He's definitely got the execution that even though he's made these extra checks, he's still pulling ahead with them.
Yep. Wait, I just remembered something. We got a long time ago. We got a hint, right?
Yeah.
A unique item requires the hammer.
Yeah. Oh, there's a ice rod
A unique item that requires the hammer.
right there.
Ooh. That was a rough ice rod location, sitting deep in swamp. But now Furaime is in go mode, can go complete Turtle Rock. Presumably we'll use the Muro Wrap to get there quickly.
So was that 137.29 ish?
Something like that. And there's the Muro Wrap. And now into Laser Bridge. Geez, 18 hearts on Furaime's side, 19 on baliame's. Another full clear seed.
But soon they will be done. I'm guessing that he's getting hit by Tronix's body. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, the body has a pretty large hitbox actually.
Well, I'm almost over to that chest just for fun's sake. Let's just see what's here. So maybe that Ice Palace hint that told him where Bo was kind of threw things off a bit. It's like if it wasn't for that hint, I wonder if both runners would have gone to Swamp Palace first, and everything
Perhaps.
because then everything else basically was on the way except for the Smiths.
Honestly, I think I would have gone into Swamp Palace pretty early, just because of the early mirror that didn't really lead to anything.
Yeah.
But of course, it is all up to the runners. Alright, and Furaime is going to the hole at the pyramid. Already exists because we already defeated Aghanim 2. Gonna drop down, fight Ganon. We've got pretty much max equipment, so should not be any issues at all.
Well, anyway, unfortunately, not switching to that fire rod. During specific transitions and animations, the game just doesn't let you use your item menu.
Oh my goodness, Ganon, stop warping. Come on.
I think that was... Wow. That was like 7 warps for the first round of warps.
Something like that. Ugh. Oh god, he's at it again.
There we go.
So the Ganon warps are actually fixed RNG, so it will be the same for both runners. So baliame will get the same terrible cycle of 8 warps or so. I had a double to finish off. Furaime has slain the pig. He'll be crossing to the Triforce in just a moment.
I've never actually timed which portal's a little bit better to get to from Ganon without Aghanim 1 defeated.
Best portal is actually the Kakariko portal, and then you do a river clip. But that's hard.
Yeah.
And GG Furaime finishing in first place with a time of 1:42.46.
I would have felt bad for baliame if he got a Houlihan room right there. I don't know the exact conditions that have to be met when you... I just know that it's possible when you super speed up those stairs that you mess up the camera.
I'm not
just
actually
enough.
certain it's related to super speed. I'm fairly certain it's related to weird shenanigans coming from like above the pyramid screen.
Balame's had enough of those warps. Try to show shooting those seals early at him. Got a random bit of damage on there.
Really be careful.
Oh no.
No, jeez.
These cycles. Wait a little bit.
The invisible Ganon coming in to troll you. Oh,
Yeah.
he keeps missing the torch cycles.
Yeah.
And the Ganon warps. Oh man.
Oh man. That's just brutal.
Can I activate King of Bona?
Yeah, when it comes, so if you happen to miss torch glitch, if you're trying to do say silverless Ganon, you definitely want to try to get the torches to be lit as close as possible at the same time. Just because Ganon's teleporting is a bit too slow, and he likes to make your torches go out between warps.
And GG baliame finishing in second place with 145.43.
Well, it was considerably better than the first one.
But Ice Rod was still trolly.
I've come to terms with it. I assume that the only reason that it was this close is because Furaime has also pretty much last dungeon there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, why in your right mind would at any point would you go into swamp? I can't even talk anymore.
So like
Honestly,
if it wasn't for that bow hit in Ice Palace, probably wouldn't have been a good idea if you dip swamp after Ice Palace. If it wasn't for that bow hint.
Funny thing, actually, about that bow hint, I wanted to see what's in pod when I went to Catfish until the very last moment. I was like, but it's such a great time to check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Catfish into pod is good routing, IMO.
And then when I saw the hint in the very first room of Ice Palace, I'm like, no, I want to take it back. I want to go back there. I mean, overall, I think the pacing in this seed was nice. Didn't feel like a hunt for items at any point except with that Ice Rod, but Ice Rod's going to be Ice Rod. Like, if it's the last thing that you need, it's going to be terrible.
Honestly, yeah, I would say the cane was probably the worst item. I really don't like smiths.
Yeah, I agree. I think the timing of the mids pickup was very awkward too. I've done everything in that area by the time I got to it.
Also, the single arrow in Spike Cave for the unique item at behind hammer was kind of silly.
Yes, but also at that point I didn't even. Okay, hold on, because that's not necessarily true. Stalfos Room had the mitts, which also count as unique items, and
That's
also
true,
counts
yeah.
behind hammer.
Oh, it's stupid.
So when I saw those mitts, I'm like, all right, well, hammerlock locations are now not that valuable.
Yeah, Ice Rod was also hammerlock checks, but so was mitts and single arrow.
Yeah, that's the other thing, isn't it? If single arrow didn't crop up and the mitts didn't crop up, swamps suddenly would have been so much more attractive. We'll never know which item the hint referred to.
Yeah, honestly, I would have gone to swamp anyway, just because we had a really early mirror.
The flippers were late. I actually considered doing as much as I could when I was there, except then I realized I don't have flippers, so I just went for the hint and called it.
Yeah.
Plus, it wouldn't have helped me because hookshot was later.
You got anything to say about both races in general? Like, I know you also did an interview for the first one.
Don't do back-to-backs, it's exhausting.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Definitely melted by the end of it. Also, remove the Hobo 2019 hashtag.
Did you even get him in this race?
Yes, I was staring at the blip on my map tracker for a solid 25 minutes, saying to myself, the next time I'm saving and quitting, I'm going there. And then I set his tent on fire.
We missed that one.
But overall, GG Furaime. You have gotten the results that I have expected. Glad this one was this close, though.
Yep, so GG's to both runners. So the stage that we're in this tournament, so we have groups of 5. We play each opponent twice, and then that's how the seeding for brackets will be made.
Yep.
So still a lot of gameplay.
Actually, Furaime is doing another race tonight. Like, oh my goodness, how do you do so many in one day? At 7 p.m. Against DoomTap.
Oh man. 7 tonight? Oh, there it is. That's gonna be on 5.
So 7 p.m. DoomTap versus Furaime on SG5, and then late night rando 11 p.m. We're gonna have Spleeby against Mentos Man on SG3. So those will all be good races to check out.
Yep, and in the short term, if you wanted to get on over to SG5 early, we do have the Super Metro Prodigy Tournament coming up. And then these are basically anyone that does not start the tournament with a sub 50 can join. So you actually get disqualified if you were sub 50 before the tournament. And then
I should have joined. I have like a 1 hour PB, I think.
Yeah,
bad.
Yes, so it's just a lot of people that are like they have like a lot of the technical foundation in order to get that. They just have to get everything in the same run. And then it looks like we do have a lot of Final Fantasy 1 randomizer going on throughout the various channels. And then we do have crowd control, looks like, coming up at 6 o'clock on the main channel. And a fun little, I guess, dungeon generator RPG, Azure Dreams, is going on pretty soon on SpeedGaming 4. So stick around for all of those and have a great day.
Thank you, everyone. You've been a great audience.